Wake up! What's up guys, Ian here from Sleep Deprivation in Smite and not Final Fantasy XIV like I promised I would. Unfortunately, the video on why Final Fantasy XIV hates new players is a little bit delayed because it's taking a little longer than I thought it would, and rather than rush it out and make it not as good, it's going to be coming out next week for sure this time, I promise. But today I actually have a little bit of an interesting video for you instead, and I was messing around. I got my alternate account up to level 30, so I decided to play some ranked. I'll give you just a little bit of a heads up as to where I am now. Obviously I was in Platinum at the end of last split. This split I'm currently in Gold 4, as you can see. Moving my way up to Gold 1 is where it says I'm in the matchmaking division right now, which if you don't know anything about ranked, the way it is, or at least this split, the way it is that if they think you're going to be a Gold 1 player, for example, or sorry, they originally thought I was going to be a Gold 5 player, but they placed me in Silver 5 with a record of 4 and 6, I think, is what my placements were at. And the reasoning for this is that they're like, okay, you may be a gold player, but you may have just gotten lucky in your 10 matches, so rather than put you higher than you should be, we'll put you lower than what the placement matches think you should be, and then give you a lot of boosted XP up towards there. Like, for a win, I'll get anywhere between 15 and 17 TP because I'll have a +5 underrated modifier. And as a result, that's why I'm currently up, as I mentioned before, at Gold 4, but it still says I should be going up to Gold 1. And that matchmaking division is also rising because my normal division is rising as well. So I imagine I'll be back up to Plat shortly. I've only played, as you can see, 19 wins and 14 losses so far, so, and that's including my placement matches. So I actually haven't played a lot of matches yet, especially considering that I played well, like 150, almost 200 last split, I believe. But I'm getting a little sidetracked, so I decided to play 10 placement matches on my alternate account, but instead of, going all try-hard, I did something different. I did it every game as Loki. And yes, if you have been paying attention to my previous videos, you'll know that I hate Loki. I think he is a terrible god, and I've learned something interesting from playing Loki, is that you obviously have to change up your strategy to win, because if you're playing with Loki, you're not playing to win team fights. Your job as Loki is to split push the towers while occasionally coming in and getting like a few cheap kills before running away. And that's what you do. You get a lot of tower damage. Now, I would show you the history on that actual account itself, but I want to keep it hidden for, own personal usage and whatnot. But I went 3 and 7, so I only did one game worse than what I did on my main account. It put me in Bronze 2 and said that it said that I was supposed to be up near Silver 2 as my matchmaking. So it put me obviously 5, like a whole division, ahead, or 5 subdivisions ahead of where I was supposed to be. And I found this interesting that I did almost as well as I would have done normally, and this has given some really awkward choices as well from my teammates. Like most of the time, actually pretty much every time, I was playing Loki in either solo lane or jungle, which are both roles that he is technically able to do, but he's not great at either of them. Most people tend to think he's better suited for solo than jungle, but he can do both, and it's reasonable to consider that he's an actual option for both. But what I learned from picking Loki is that no matter who it is, no matter what it is, everyone gets mad if you pick Loki, and he is the only god I know that if you pick him, everyone gets pissed. Like, if you pick gods like Amazenka, people get a little bit upset, but, like, Loki is by far the worst choice you can pick in ranked if you want your team to actually like you. That's a matter of fact. And I wouldn't go in there, I wouldn't say anything, but they'd have, your recommended picks and bans, and I'd say recommended ban Ao Kuang and recommended pick Loki. And then for the final game, I didn't actually get to be Loki. I lied when I said I got to do all of them, but I did the same thing. I said I'd, recommended ban Ao Kuang, recommended pick Loki. Didn't say any words, and the guy that was first pick, first bans, was like, "No way in fucking hell you're gonna pick Loki. Oh, you fucking pulled that shit. Blah 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 blah." And he wasted a ban on Loki just so I couldn't pick Loki. And then our team ended up having 3 hunters, Freya, and oh god, who was our last guy? I don't even remember. It was 3 hunters, Freya, and I think like a Susano or something. Wait, no, Bakasura. Yeah, we had a Bakasura, a Freya, and 3 hunters. So we were basically late game attack based central, and it was just awful. And obviously, we got our shit pushed in. We got our shit pushed in hard, and that was one of our losses. I honestly don't know if it would have been better if I would have gotten to play Loki, but it was just a nightmare. And I will say one thing though, I did learn something interesting and had something unexpected happen. A lot of people obviously would give me flack, and then if I did poorly, which obviously I did because I only went 3 and 7, so there were a good chunk of games where I did poorly, they would continue to talk shit. But ironically enough, none of the games was I ever the worst player. I wouldn't say I was ever the sole reason we lost. So I guess what I'm trying to say is, while you can technically win and you can do well with Loki, it's not something that's going to work well in the higher tiers, obviously, of play, and it's something that you're going to get a lot of hate for. So still don't pick him. It's not worth it. If you're doing it, you're pretty much trolling, which is what I was doing. But getting back to that thing that I learned that surprised me was one of the guys that had talked a bunch of shit all game. And it was that very last game where I ended up playing something else, and I basically got quote mad in the chat, but I was faking it, being like, "Oh, I only know how to play Loki, blah blah blah," and they just tore me apart, and it was hilarious. But at the end of it, one of the guys messaged me and started trying to actually, give me advice. Like, after he was, mad throughout the whole game, a little bit mad afterwards, and then that conversation kind of boiled down to him helping me. He was like, "You know what? All right, look, it does frustrate me. I get that you're just like, why are you even going into ranked?" And I told him I was, doing it to improve or some shit like that. And he's like, "Well, you really should try and learn more gods." Like, and then he started going and trying to teach me how to play, which I thought was funny. But well, I guess not really funny, but it was actually kind of nice to, find out that there were people that, he was a jerk before, don't get me wrong, but that he actually changed his tune, and he was like trying to help people out, and it restored my faith a little bit in the Smite community. And I did obviously look him up and check and see what his stats were, and he was, well, I think a silver player or bronze player for the most part, although he was platinum in Joust. But I thought it was funny because he tried to recommend that I play Bakasura, which Bakasura isn't good. Don't play Bakasura in Conquest. He's really good in Duel. Don't play him Conquest though. But yeah, but it was just refreshing that after the whole shitstorm, the whole shit show of playing nothing but this little douchebag right here, which, by the way, as you can see, I don't have a lot of experience playing. He is only Mastery 2, and that is against my better judgment. But yeah, it was nice seeing someone that actually was, trying to help me rather than just everyone else that BM'd. Although I will say, for the 3 games that I did well and effectively carried my team and that we won, people changed their tone at the end of the game, and they were like, "Yeah, you know what? I'll take back what I said." Although some people just stayed quiet and just stopped talking. They'd rather not say anything than admit that they got carried by a Loki. Which, to be fair, I was playing at a lower level than where I currently am in ranked, so I was playing with players that aren't, or at least shouldn't be as good as I am. But yeah, it was a fun little experiment to play 10 qualifying matches as Loki, and who knows, maybe I might play more matches on that alternate account, but I probably should focus on grinding this one out first. But yeah, that's all I wanted to talk about today. I thought it was interesting. I guess leave your comments in the section below. Let me know what you guys think. Do you think Loki is actually viable? Do you think this was an interesting thing? Is there something else should I try doing other qualifiers with Loki and see what happens? Anyways, let me know. Leave a comment. Be sure to like, subscribe, all that jazz. Do the whole notification squad thing that everyone is saying, so you can actually find out when I post that Final Fantasy video next week, which I definitely will do this time. I promise. It is for sure going to happen. Next week. Why Final Fantasy XIV hates new players. It will be up. I promise. Anyways, my name's Ian from Sleep Deprivation, and I will see you guys next time.